Welcome back to week 2. I would like to start by asking what has been your bright spot this week?
I've been very, very good.
Tell me more. Tell me more. What's been very, very good?
Well, I've been, because Lent season has started. I started before Lent. I started like really on Monday because of the omega-3s and everything. So I'm, doing like a protein shake in the morning. I put all the ingredients on it, but it has like walnuts, almonds. I use that, you know what muesli is?
Mm-hmm.
And I put that in there because it has like all the oats and all that stuff in there. And then I use fresh ginger and turmeric, and I also put like spirulina in there. And so that's like my meal for the morning and whatever, and it keeps me pretty full. And I've been drinking my water.
Good.
Carrying my water. I've been drinking water with my meals, in which I hadn't been doing that. And then really I'm pretty full. I might do a little snack or something. And then dinner time, because that was one of the things I wanted to eat earlier, because I used to eat like around 7. So eating anywhere between 5 and 6, and really just eating any type of like fish or shrimp or whatever. That's what I've been eating for dinner.
Good.
And salad and all kinds of
Yeah, so you start your day really well and prioritize drinking water and then incorporating omega-3s in a way that's been working for you this week, right? Who else? One more person who would like to share their bright spot on how they have prioritized their health needs this past week. Go ahead.
I always eat the same way.
No problem.
So before and now. But I usually do I do overnight oats a lot, or smoothies with fruit and protein. My doctor said I needed more protein, so I've been incorporating more protein in my diet. I eat all day though, so I'll get up and I'll have a smoothie or a yogurt with all kinds of seeds, and then maybe 2 hours later I'll have a piece of fruit, and then 2 hours later I'll have some nuts, and then I'll have a lunch. So it depends on what I have a taste for.
Okay.
But I hardly ever eat after 6.
Okay.
So at 5:30, that's unless I go out to dinner with friends on a Saturday,
Okay.
but I try not to eat after.
Good.
And of course a lot of water. I don't drink. Yesterday I went out with some of the divas for breakfast, and I had such a taste for a Coke, and I couldn't. I'm like, I know I won't. I know.
Your palate has
But
evolved.
every so often, like when I have tacos, like crispy ground beef, they just have to a Coke. But I'll get like a little one, and I wouldn't even finish that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you have been prioritizing your health needs, having, enjoying a little bit here and there, and still kind of, recognizing that, things have, my palate has evolved, and noting that all food has a place in your plate, and, getting better each day.
And I bake a lot. Like right now I'm home a lot because I fractured my ankle, but I can't sit still, so I'm always doing something. So I bake a lot, but I don't eat my own baking. So I'll wrap I'll make little loaves.
Yeah.
I'll wrap them, put a bow, and then distribute them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. This is our framework for today. We will start, the introduction or the group discussion was just to set the tone of the week. I am so encouraged to see that many of you have logged into the app, have used the recipe basket, and I hope the app kind of gives you those reminders that is helpful and, encouraging to you to build those practices one at a time, right? And the recipe basket is pretty flexible. You put in whatever food you need in the small search bar, and it will bring up, options that you are able to see. You are able to even download it and, use as you need. We'll have a small lesson today. There is a recipe demonstration. It's vegetable taco soup today, and Q&A at the end, a small quiz where everybody passes, nobody fails, and then of course tasting. Okay. Where are we with regards to this series? Last week, we looked at inflammation and how it relates to various chronic diseases. We discussed about different types of inflammation and what causes it. We also discussed about one of the anti-inflammatory compounds, omega-3, and today we will take it forward to one another anti-inflammatory compound that is only found in plants, not in animals. Okay, so that's a riddle or a puzzle there, and it will kind of evolve as we move through our discussion today. We'll keep on building on the anti-inflammatory compounds, the different lifestyle pillars, and all along, the series, you are gaining confidence in preparing anti-inflammatory foods in a way that is tastier to your palate, that works for you in your real life, and keep marching forward. So a quick review of week 1. We discussed that you can look at inflammation as fire, right? You need some fire, but when that fire is persistent, then it is chronic, right? It's something that is not health supporting, and your body, in that effort of coming back to homeostasis, it's not able to switch off that inflammatory switch, and it just goes on in a vicious cycle. Another way to look at inflammation is soldiers, right? When you have a cut, or some sort of injury in your body has this mechanism of releasing soldiers that are able to come to that place and, do the repair, do the rejuvenation, and all of that. And those, you can compare them to the soldiers that, come to a place where there is unrest or there is some need, and they kind of, clear up the space. But when those soldiers are there for a long period of time, that's what is chronic. That's what is not supporting your body, right? So we need inflammation, but persistent chronic inflammation is something that is not health supporting, right? So acute inflammation is necessary, chronic inflammation, nada. Right. Moving ahead, we also discussed that, that chronic systemic inflammation is one of the underlying factors that influences most of the chronic conditions that is prevalent here, or if in fact for the humankind, right? Starting from diabetes, of course, cancer, many of the neurological diseases such as dementia, Alzheimer's, metabolic disorders, autoimmune disorders, any cardiovascular disease starting from high blood pressure to stroke, they all have chronic inflammation as one of the driving factors that affect the outcomes. We also discussed about that most common lab blood marker that you can request your primary care provider, which is a C-reactive protein. Having it between 0.3 and 1 is good. Less than 0.3 is awesome, but anything more than 10 needs to be addressed, right? And how can it be addressed? It can be addressed with medicines that your provider is able to recommend. It can also be addressed by following anti-inflammatory lifestyle choices, meaning eating anti-inflammatory foods, not smoking, limiting or avoiding alcohol, being active in a way that helps your body, right? Getting enough good quality sleep, which is always a work in progress, and then managing your stressors, right? So we will work on this all through our series. I do want to expand a little bit on the anti-inflammatory eating pattern. This will be uploaded to your resources in the app, so it will be available for you to download. But if you look at it, you can see that half of your plate, right, if you have, my hand is small, half of your plate is filled with colors, right? So those cruciferous vegetables, root vegetables, the alliums, which we will discuss today, and some fruit here. The other part is basically protein, whole grains and seeds, right? So what catches your eye the most in this plate? Yeah, colors. Yes, colors are very interesting, right? Vegetables are interesting. They come and go with the season. Different parts of the plant are, give you different vitamins, minerals, nutrients, etc., right? So that's the most, that's the one that occupies the most of your plate. Of course, being active, managing your stress. And I am a food first person. If you're taking any supplements, always ask your healthcare provider. Vitamin D is one of those micronutrients that do support your anti-inflammatory mechanisms in your body. Curcumin, which is turmeric, you can actually use it in food. We will have a demo next week. I have actually mixed in some turmeric today in the seasoning, though the recipe doesn't call for it. But the turmeric is one of the anti-inflammatory components, and of course omega-3s, which are available in humongous amounts in many of the foods that we discussed last week, starting from nuts to any seafood. Omega-3s are available, in food. Of course, if that's not possible, then, your healthcare provider is the best person to let you know how much of, any of those supplements that you need to take. You can also ask your provider to check your vitamin D levels. I know most of the oncologists here in START do that, but if you haven't, that's a nice thing to do. And it's good to have your vitamin D levels anywhere between 30 above, right? At least for cancer survivors, it's recommended that your vitamin D be above 40 to 50, so that, your body is always scouting around for any cancer cells and not even allowing them to, grow in any sense. So last week we looked at omega-3, right? It's about fighting inflammation with all the colors, everything that Mother Nature has offered us. Last week we concentrated on omega-3, the polyunsaturated fatty acids. Two types of fats, right? One is the MUFA or PUFA, how we call it. The other one is your trans fat, your saturated fat, which is also essential, but having it in lesser amounts compared to the mono and the polyunsaturated food, looking for a 1:4 ratio. We also discussed about, the amount of omega-3s that is available in different foods, right? Starting from hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, salmon, mackerel, and knowing that you need at least 1 to 2 grams per day. One of our divas here asked me a very curious question. Is Mediterranean diet anti-inflammatory? What do you think?
Is what?
Mediterranean?
Oh, Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. It is. So it is anti-inflammatory, right? So I have a cute little graphic here. This is the Mediterranean pyramid. We have that food pyramid, right? So this is the Mediterranean pyramid, and if you see, it's from Old Ways. Old Ways is one of the proponents of Mediterranean way of eating and way of living. If you see, the foundation of Mediterranean eating is eating together, right? Staying physically active, that's the foundation. And above that, as you mentioned, it's lot of colors. Olive oil, and the colors are usually from fruits, from vegetables, from, everything that's very close to Mother Earth. Legumes, seeds, herbs and spices are huge in there. And if you see here, their protein choices is usually fish and seafood, and egg and poultry, cheese and yogurt dessert is above that, and meats and sweets are very, 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 very little. Like it's more like seasoning for them, right? So that's where, and sweets are usually enjoyed in tiny amounts at the end of the meal, and a little bit of wine, right? Not a lot, and then lot of water. So yes, Mediterranean way of eating and anti-inflammatory eating pattern are almost the same, right? So focusing on lot of colors, having seafood or fish food as part of your repertoire, and then, remaining things are just like, icing on the cake, right? So what we are going to do today and next week is to explore the low glycemic veggies and fruits, which are pretty interesting, and that's what kind of gives color to your plate, and they always change, and there are hundreds of ways in which you can incorporate veggies and fruit as part of your eating pattern. So that's what we will look at this week and next week. Okay, so vegetables. And I thought I need to write it down. Vegetables to me are the most exciting part of cooking, right? Because they come and go. They are, they are as colorful as the rainbow, and they add flavor, and they are Mother Nature's gift to mankind. Right? So I really, really, really love vegetables, incorporating it in any shape or form as part of your meal pattern, not just salads, but, variety of ways in which you can incorporate vegetables. So today we will concentrate on vegetables and how they impact our health. Next, and we'll also look at one ingredient that only plants have, animals do not have, right? We'll look at that, and then the remaining three objectives, we will look at it next week along with phytochemicals, okay? So today's, I want to start by making sure that I get set up here, because it's going to take a little bit time to cook and then release the pressure. So the recipe that is in front of you is a stove top method. It takes a little longer, but once you have the ingredients in place, it's pretty easy to put it together, okay? So let's look at what are the ingredients. There is 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 onion chopped. I chose red onion, 3 cloves chopped. It's up here. 3 zucchinis chopped here. Did I miss one? Yes. Bell peppers chopped here. Carrots peeled. I chose the matchstick for convenience. Convenience is the way of life, right? I'm not going to make it any hard on myself and, for any of us. The recipe tells black beans. I chose kidney beans because kidney beans are a little bit higher in fiber. I do have a fiber chart, and I'll upload it under our resources to see, what foods, how much fiber they have, which are higher in fiber and all of that, because that's the focus of our discussion today. Vegetable broth. What did I miss? Crushed tomatoes. It's up here. And remaining are seasoning. I do have avocado for topping, your healthy fats, and of course fiber in here too. And I did not do hot sauce today because it's morning and I don't want to feel hot and saucy, right? So that's the recipe here. I'm going to get this started so that it can heat up a little bit. I brought oil here. Who likes cooking in Instant Pot here? Yeah. Not everything. Some things. Yeah. Definitely stews, soups. Yeah. Right. So oil in here. I have, I did measure them out. Need to wear my gloves. And 3 cloves of garlic, minced, goes inside. Going to allow it to sizzle for a bit. Yeah, cut up. So make it easy on you. It's only like, I think, when you compare it, it's like probably 50 to 75 cents. But then I compare to, okay, how much time do I need to cut it up, right? So I chose red onions, but you know, depending on your taste preferences, you can use any onion. Onion comes under the food group allium, Allium. I don't know how you pronounce it here, but that's how I was taught to pronounce in the Brit way of English. So just give it a little saute. Of course, you know, you don't even have to saute. If you are in a hurry, you can actually dump all the ingredients into it, just close it and put the pressure for 5 minutes and it will be done. But when you saute it a little bit, it brings out the flavor, right? So I love that. The whole onion goes in there. Light saute. I'm going to make the saute on low so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Smells good? Already, yeah. Colored bell peppers, I think they have all the colors in here, but you can choose any one. Of course, the colors, right? So that goes in there.
How does the different colors, like in the peppers specifically?
There are
Are
different,
there different compounds that are in it?
yes.
Okay.
They have different compounds, different phytochemicals. We'll discuss that next week. So give it a nice stir. I'm going to put all the hard veggies in the beginning and then the softer ones at the last. Not going to put the whole carrots. I'm going to, I think some of you know that I don't go by the instructions. So half of the carrots up there. Want to add a little bit of salt. I used sea salt there. There are different varieties of salt which can be a session by itself, but right. And then goes the kidney beans. I opened a can, washed it off nicely, but you can also choose to soak them and they turn out way more delicious, but this is easier for cooking and of course convenience, right? So that goes in there. Yes, 1 can of beans. 1 can of beans, and then have crushed tomatoes. Going to put all of it there. Tomatoes have lycopene, which we will discuss next week, along with the different compounds, anti-inflammatory compounds, phytochemicals that vegetables have. right? So that goes, and then the remaining of salt. It's good to be on the lower side of salt. So if you want it, you can add it. But I love not to go super high on salt. I did cut up 2 zucchinis. I'm going to dump all of it there. And then a little bit more of salt. And finally, vegetable broth for the liquid. And I do have to put the taco seasoning at the end. There. Taco seasoning at the end. I'm going to put all of it. You know, I wish there needs to be a camera here. Right? So feels like there is enough liquid. Final little bit of salt.
Is that pink salt?
It's just sea salt. Just sea salt. I get it from Costco. They have it in Sam's too, I think. What am I missing? Yeah. The taco seasoning. So I have cumin, coriander. I did add some turmeric inside it. Yeah, that's it, right? Some turmeric inside it. So if you don't see, this recipe is pulled out your online recipe basket, right? But as I said, you know, I can't follow the instructions to the T. So I did add turmeric, knowing that it's anti-inflammatory. It has, you know, a lot of antioxidants inside it. So there is 1 tablespoon of it all together. Do you guys like cumin or no cumin? I know some of us. Anybody is no cumin? No, don't like the taste of it? No. Okay, everybody is okay with it. That way I can be bold to put it in, right? So I hope that. Give it a nice stir, and the remaining are toppings. And going to close it and allow it to cook. Oopsie. Close it. And pressure cook, cancel, pressure cook, reduce the time to I'm going to put 6 minutes, okay? And as that cooks, we will finish our remaining content for the day. Today we'll discuss different kinds of vegetables, right? What are the different categories of vegetables? There are 7 categories, believe it or not. The first category is cruciferous vegetables. What all vegetables come under cruciferous vegetables?
Cabbage, broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli, sprouts, Brussels sprout, cauliflower, cabbage, collard and kale, falls into both greens and cruciferous vegetables, right? Cruciferous vegetables are the magic. They are very easy to prep too. It doesn't take a lot to take out the cauliflower florets, or even, you can use Brussels sprouts just like that and roast and bake, or else, you can cut it into half and use it for roasting and baking. Next week's recipe is actually lemony Brussels sprouts. So we'll use, yes, lemony. So, those are very easy to prep, and they do have lot of anti-inflammatory compounds, which we will categorize and discuss next week. So cruciferous vegetables is the first category. The next category is alliums and garlic, onion, shallots. Those are basically alliums, and they do have antioxidant or anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory compounds in it. They add to the flavor, to the aroma of any dish. So having onions and garlic, you just need 1 clove of garlic each day to get the antioxidant compounds in your eating pattern. Nothing more than that. 1 clove each day gives you a check mark for the alliums. So alliums are that category of vegetable that feels like a bulb, but there is a different category called bulb vegetables too that we will come to. The next is the bulb, and it's usually fennels, shallots. Those are the bulb vegetables. The next one is root vegetables. What are some of the root vegetables that you know of? Carrots, beets, potatoes, parsnips. Yes, yeah. So those are basically starchy vegetables, right? But they do have lot of color, and the magic component that most of the vegetables have that we will discuss. So root vegetables, as you said, includes the edible part of the plant, such as you mentioned, carrots, beets, parsnips, potatoes, even turnips are root vegetables. The next category is stalk vegetables, asparagus, celery, rhubarb. Anybody here tasted rhubarb?
Yes.
Yeah, they are yum. So those are stalk vegetables. Again, they are very easy to prepare, right? That's not. Celery is a stalk vegetable. Asparagus and then rhubarb are the common, available stalk vegetables here. The next category is leafy greens, right? Spinach, kale. Kale falls into cruciferous as well as the leafy greens. What else? Your Swiss chard, collard. Collard falls into both leafy greens and cruciferous. You don't have to know the categories, but it's nice to kind of know that, there are some labels attached to every vegetable, right? So leafy greens is the colorful ones that you can incorporate in any way as part of your eating pattern. Even cilantro is a leafy green. It adds to the flavor, right? Next category is the pods, green beans, peas, any legumes, right? There is a class, I think the fourth lesson is all about beans and legumes, right? There is so much of discussion nowadays about how can you make your plate plant focused, right? How can you make your plate plant forward? So beans and legumes are Mother Nature's gifts, which has a lot of protein in it. So there is a lesson that is entirely concentrated on just beans and legumes, but any beans and legumes actually fall into the pods category, right? And what are the benefits of vegetables? What do you know about what vegetables have?
Fiber.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, fiber is that magic puzzle that only plants have, right? And fiber is the king. Without fiber, Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's very, it's very important. No problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, right? And we Americans usually don't eat enough fiber, is what is evidence kind of has found out that we eat very less of fiber. So there is a lot of fiber in there for certain, right? Vegetables do have phytochemicals, antioxidant compounds, which we will discuss in our next class, the flavonoids, the carotenoids. Each colors have different compounds, so we will discuss that next class. All the vegetables are low glycemic. They help regulate your blood glucose levels. The fiber does help regulate your blood glucose levels. So for my patients who are diabetic, the small tweak that I recommend, and many of them find it very interesting, is to start your meal with vegetables, right? Any vegetables, start your meal with vegetables rather than going for the starch or for the carbohydrates first, right? So vegetables, the fiber in vegetables does allow in regulating your blood glucose levels, and they are of course nutrient dense. Lot of health supporting compounds in there. A little lesson about fiber. What is fiber? Fiber is that magic component that is only found in plants. Animal products do not have fiber, right? And fiber is nothing but it's the skeleton of plant. It's what gives plants its structure. If a plant is able to stand tall, it's because of the fiber. So as human beings, if we want to have a healthy life, incorporate fiber as part of your eating pattern. Make sure that that's at the forefront of your eating intentions. Fiber gives you fullness. It helps with motility. It helps to make sure that the food you eat goes through your pipe from here to here, and it also helps in removing toxins from your body, which we will discuss too in the upcoming slide. It helps in, as I mentioned, removing toxins, and it helps your liver to actually detoxify. So fiber is the king. Have it as part of your eating pattern at least twice a day. So a simple prescription to make your eating pattern anti-inflammatory is veggies twice a day. Your stretched hand of veggies twice a day. Simple prescription. You can include it in any way that you want so that you get all the benefits from vegetables. It also feeds your good bacteria in your tummy, right? In your large intestine, there are a lot of healthy bacteria that you need, and the fiber is the prebiotic for that probiotic. So when you are not having fiber, you are not giving food to those healthy bacteria that are part and parcel of your system. So basically, fiber is the skeleton of plants. Incorporate it as part of your everyday eating pattern. It helps you feel satisfied, helps in keeping, your GI system moving. It also reduces the toxins in your body, helps your liver metabolize or, detoxify the toxins. And it also, feeds the good gut bacteria in your body, right? And the next slide kind of shows, how fiber helps detoxification. Don't worry about the sciencey, what is that word there? It's called enterohepatic circulation. In nutshell, what this means is that fiber that you eat is like a taxi. It removes the toxins, which are those nasty things that get into your system, either from your environment or as part of your metabolism, from the drugs, from whatever, we are exposed to. Fiber is a taxi that grabs those toxins and excretes it out of your system when you poop, basically. It also removes any excess hormones in your body, and without adequate, fiber in your diet, there is, no way for that to kind of get out of your system, right? So make sure that you incorporate fiber as part of your meal, right? Yeah. What are the different fiber types? Anyone knows here?
Soluble and insoluble.
Yes, I know you guys knew it. Fiber types, we'll come to it, but as I mentioned, fiber is a prebiotic, right? It's the food for the healthy gut bacteria. So make sure that, you have it as part of your, as part of your eating pattern. Plays a very important role in making sure that the gut bacteria are healthy and thriving. The two types of fiber are soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And pharmaceuticals or nutraceuticals out there have not yet figured out in a pill form the way Mother Nature makes fiber. There are fiber gummies and whatnot out there, right? But none of those are anywhere close to how Mother Nature has made fiber as part of the food that Mother Nature offers. So soluble fiber is the one that's able to swell. It dissolves in water, it swells, it becomes, sticky. For example, oatmeal, right? It's become sticky, and it also helps regulate your blood glucose and also your cholesterol levels, right? So if any of your lipid panel is out of place, incorporate fiber as part of your eating pattern to make sure that your blood glucose are regulated. Include fiber as part of your eating pattern, and that soluble fiber also helps your liver to take out any toxins out of your body, right? Your liver is your detoxification organ, and make sure that you have a lot of fiber as part of your eating pattern. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water. However, as you mentioned, it helps in moving that food through your tract, helps with the motility, and it helps with bulking your stool, and it helps with regularity. So, for my patients who struggle with constipation, having lot of water and fiber as part of their eating pattern is very key so that your system stays healthy, right? Any questions about soluble fiber or insoluble fiber?
What is the third picture under soluble there? What's the fourth? Potatoes?
Which one? This one?
The third and the fourth pictures.
This one?
Yeah.
This one is legumes.
Oh, okay.
And this one is sweet potatoes. Yes. Apples, oatmeal, whole grain pastas, or even chickpea pasta. These days you have, there is lentil pasta too these days, right? Avocado has, I think it has around 9 to 10 grams of fiber in 1/2. Right? So if you're having guac as part of your eating pattern, you're getting, 1/3 of your fiber recommendation in some way. Zucchini, it's part of our recipe today here, and of course broccoli, right? And you can incorporate these vegetables and fruits in a very, very, very creative way as part of your eating pattern, right? So what is the recommendation for fiber? It's recommended that we have at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber as part of our eating pattern. I quickly want to grab a handout that I will post in the app. Kidney beans has around 19 grams of fiber in 1 cup. That's the highest amount of fiber. Navy beans also has around 19 grams of fiber. White beans has 19 grams of fiber. Zucchini, let's see here. Zucchini has, 1 cup has around 3 grams. Squash has around 9 grams of fiber. So any fruit and vegetable does have fiber as part and parcel of it, right? So you really don't have to, take any gummies to be able to, get to that 25 to 35. A little mindful way of incorporating even chia seeds. They have 2 tablespoons has around 10 grams of fiber. Brazil nut, 1 a day will give you 3 grams of fiber, and Brazil nuts are thyroid health supporting. Thyroid plays a key role in your metabolism. Only 1 Brazil nut each day will give you enough selenium, zinc, that your thyroid needs to produce those thyroid hormones, right? So any of those nuts and seeds do have a lot of fiber. So aiming for at least 5 servings of vegetables, right? That's what is recommended. Sprinkling chia seeds into your oatmeal, cereal or soups, adding bean to any chili soup or even salads, snacking on nuts and fruit, just like how many of my divas here love to incorporate it, adding berries to your yogurt and to your cereal, even refried beans in burrito is another way to add fiber, adding avocados to your sandwiches or wraps, or even as a topping on your soups or stews. What else? What are some other ways that you guys like to incorporate vegetables? Anything that I missed? Salads, snacks. Yeah, absolutely, right? So, but the idea is start slow and build. If you are, recognize wherever you are and doing a little bit better as part of your eating pattern will help. And at least, 8 to 10 cups of water. Front load your hydration needs. Yes.
I have a question because I know like yesterday we talked about doing like infusions and stuff like that. So do you get any of that as far as like when you say for instance use like say cucumber with the lemon or the mint with the, are you getting any of those?
Fiber?
Yes.
Fiber doesn't leach into water.
Okay.
It's just the flavor and the compounds in it. Yeah, you have to eat it and chew it to, get it into your system. But great question. If you are able to add any pureed vegetables, like kids are very picky sometimes. I have one that is picky. So, so I tend to sneak in vegetables, like I'll puree vegetables and put it inside. He's a high schooler, but still he is picky. So, being creative in the way that you want to incorporate vegetables as part of your diet. Fridays are usually pizza nights. When there is a pizza night, there is usually some roasted veggies on the side or salads on the side, and have your veggies first. It's like your seat belt, so that, Mother Nature is protecting you with whatever you're going to have later, right? So that's the fiber recommendation. Are you ready for a short quiz? Okay. Name 2 vegetables you love. Let's go around the table. 2 vegetables that you love.
Oh, asparagus and radishes.
Cool. How about you?
Broccoli and onions.
Broccoli and onions. How about you?
I like apples. They're not really a vegetable.
What about you?
Carrots and hearts of palm.
Okay. Hearts of palm. How do you incorporate
I
it?
like them in salads.
Ah, okay. You buy them in those.
Yeah, in a jar.
I've never tasted them. How do they taste? I have seen
They
them.
don't have a real strong flavor, but they're a nice crunch and they're a nice visual addition to the salad because they're white.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I'm going to try it sometime. How about you?
Spinach and tomatoes.
Ah, wow, good.
Asparagus and spinach.
Asparagus and spinach, greens.
Sweet potato and jicama.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, jicama.
Is that a fruit or a veggie?
It's a veggie. It's a veggie. It's a root veggie.
Tomato as a fruit.
Oh, okay.
That's a big
I'll put
It's
broccoli.
Tomato is a fruit, but there is a lot of contentions on it. There is usually that conversation, no, it's a vegetable, no, it's a fruit. Well, let's eat it, right? So jicama, how do you incorporate it?
Well, I just eat it, slice it, and squeeze lime on it,
Mm.
and just have it as a snack. And I've had it. My husband will put it in ceviche.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, fruit salad.
Ah,
Fruit salad.
wow.
Talking about jicama.
Yeah. And I have heard one of my friends say that she makes fries with it, like put it in the air fryer, and it's just like your potatoes, it seems, but a lot of fiber and water. And I have not tried it, but she was telling me the other day.
Tacos that are pre-cut in the.
They're real thin.
Right. Yeah. And so that's. How about you? What do you like?
I like a lot of veggies, but one of my favorite is green beans. I
Mm.
love green beans.
Mm.
And I don't like them mushy,
Mm-hmm.
so I just kind of saute them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And broccoli
Mm.
and asparagus.
Oh, the pods, the crucible. You have only two. No extra credits, right? How about you? Spinach and broccoli.
Same here.
Spinach.
I like all veggies, though.
All veggies. Wow, nice. Yes.
Zucchini
Oh,
and
yeah.
Broccoli is a common factor, which is really, really nice.
Squash and spinach.
Any specific squash that you like? Yellow squash. Yeah, wow. How about you?
avocados and carrots.
Avocados and carrots.
Avocados and fruit, no.
Oh. They are very high in fiber and it's very easy to incorporate. Just cut it into half and there you go. Right? Yeah. How about you?
Brocchini and asparagus.
Broccolini, the tiny ones, right? Yeah. How do you make it?
Saute them with just a little bit of olive oil with salt and pepper.
They're very, very, very tasty, right? You, Brenda.
Broccoli and
What, broccoli and sweet potatoes. What's your favorite way to incorporate sweet potatoes? How do you make it usually?
I just eat it straight.
Mm-hmm. Eat it straight.
Eat it straight in the microwave.
But yeah, okay. Just kind of poke it and yeah. They're very sweet. They really address your sweet spot in some way. A lot of fiber in it, and of course carotenoids. Yeah, absolutely. There is a dessert that you can make. The nut base, I'm sorry, many of you couldn't. I don't know, I didn't do any magic when I did it last time. But when you can actually put in some mashed sweet potato along with it and bake it, and it kind of, gives you that little extra fiber as part of it.
Broccoli and spinach.
Okay. Any favorite way to incorporate broccoli or?
My spinach, actually, I use it in my breakfast.
Mhm.
I put mushrooms and scrambled egg.
Pat, is that you?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I call it my Mexican omelet because it's like, okay, I scramble everything, so I put onions into it, tomatoes,
Uh-huh.
spinach, and then I'm using
Okay,
cheese.
let's go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's go eat.
And you can serve it on toasted bread and some avocado, so that's my breakfast. Yeah.
Yum.
It is.
Yum.
It's very good. So now my daughter comes when she goes, "Are you gonna make that your Mexican omelet?" And I said, "Yes." Okay, whatever. and that's the way I use my spinach a lot more.
Right.
Sometimes in my smoothies, but most of the time I like it.
Yeah. I love your scramble, that the onions, the tomatoes, and if you add a little bit of garlic, it kind of adds flavor to almost everything, right? So that's like the base that you can use for any of the
And one of the things that I throw in there is the everything bagel.
seasoning.
Seasoning, yeah,
Mhm,
that's
mhm, mhm.
Okay.
What are the two? Thank you. What are the two types of fiber that we discussed? Insoluble. Is one more essential than the other? We need both of them, right? And incorporating vegetables and fruits is the best way to get fiber that is health supporting for you, right? So for this week, I added it down here. For this week, you continue your week 1 actions in the app, which is basically looking at your omega-3 and being mindful of your hydration. The addition here, the one additional habit or practice here is being mindful of adding vegetables to your eating pattern twice a day. I know we all kind of hit it at least once a day, but getting it to twice a day could be that small little challenge maybe, but it's not, if you are mindful, you will be able to, you will surprise yourself, how you can incorporate, one extra serving of veggies as part of your everyday pattern. So that's the action for this week. I am thankful that many of you were able to log into it, checking it off, that you are able to see the lessons, you're able to check off the actions. Were you able to look at the resources? Were you able to figure it out where it is?
That's what I have a question, because sometimes it changes on the bottom here as far as like when you were saying that there's recipes.
The recipes is a different link.
Oh,
It should have come to your email. Okay, there is an email link. I know many of you logged in and looked at it. It's a separate link. No, it was sent last week. I can resend it to you or paste it to you. Yeah, you will see it in your email. It's a link and you can directly go there and register. Yeah. It comes as a meal plan, but disregard it, right? Just, look for, search for chicken or, I don't know. This week it's vegetables, maybe jicama or your favorite vegetable, and see what recipes come up. There are recipes, there are even no-cook recipes inside that. There are recipes that come together in less than 30 minutes. Sheet pan, Instant Pot, slow cooker, whatnot. It's a big repository of recipes, right? So that's what it is. And let's see how...
And the resources, do they know as well?
No, the resources, do you see your profile in it? Right? Go click on it and then it's the first tab.
I gotcha.
Got it? Yeah. And I'll add week 2 under that today. Okay. So thank you very much for your time. I will open this. Did I go beyond time? No. Lot of pressure inside. Thank you very much for coming in today, and your delicious soup will be here to taste in a few seconds. But those who are watching, thank you for being with us today, and come to the class next week. Thank you.